Have you ever wondered why when you enter a trade, you end up getting stopped out and the market then reverses and goes the exact place that you thought it would go? It's always funny how that works. It's almost like you're getting trapped. What if I told you that the market is constantly trying to trap you as a day trader? I'm going to show you guys a live trade breaking down this setup and why I was entering long, the idea of buying the trap and how to trade the trap. Look for the trap. You got to be always on the lookout for the trap. Looking to see if we get a reaction here off of that 65 level, and then looking to get long if we can possibly kind of get a reaction like similar to this, kind of get that push right back up there on that minute candle. Right now trying to hold there 65, so I'm gonna jump in long right there. Now we're trying to look for this bottom to hold there. Trade one contract. It's Friday afternoon. See if we get one little push back up here. Just looking for 5 handles. Like I said, we wanted that reaction to kind of dip down here below and then rip back up, and that's exactly what we just got there. So now, can we push up here again into the 70s? So 71 area being our target. It needs to bounce here. I'm going to risk a little bit more. I think there's still a possibility that it bounces, but it needs to bounce like right now, right here, to push back up there above 66 if it's going to go. If we push above 66 again, I might add one more contract, to be honest. It's got to bounce right here. Push back up there, 66, beautiful. That's the bounce we were looking for. A little bit deeper than we wanted, that pullback, but I think we can still push up here, 60, 71's possible. Let's see what happens here if we get this push above 69. I'll add above 69, right above this high right here. Right now, pushing up there beautifully. We got that push we were looking for, that pullback. We were a little deeper on that pullback than we wanted, but we still held on to it. Was just watching here to get this push up, and there we're looking for the 5 handle fill. Can we get it? I think I can maybe move this up to, let's move it up to 71, 75. Not that it's that big of a difference, but still looking like it wants to go through that level there. Looks really good on the Lux Algo. Look at that, those breaker. There we go, getting filled here, about to get filled for $275. There you go, beautiful. So again, you know, just recapping, you saw that pullback. That pullback was kind of, we were expecting that pullback into, I was thinking like 64. We got down to a low of 63. We were able to hold on to it. Now we're going to retest that previous day low at that 74 level, and I'm thinking we do get a pullback there. So we'll just kind of wait and see what happens at this high now. It's 245, 248 here in the afternoon. And you can see pushed all the way there to the 72, 75. So we got our 10 handles. That's all we needed. Well, we got our 5 handles there. Just so you guys can see without the indicator, just structure-wise, kind of what I was thinking that this would want to pull back into the 63 level. So the idea was we basically kind of had all these stops right here at 66s. So you kind of get this dip below those stops, take out those stops, and then rip it right back up. You get the bears trying to jump in there for the short down as well. So this was kind of that area. I was looking for the pullback there, you know, basically looking for this area to pull back. We run those stops there at the 66s. It's pretty obvious when there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, touches of that level that there's going to be stops right there. So all those stops get ran. And look at that push up there, 74s now. So now we're going. And now what we're looking for is kind of the same situation, another pullback here. So you guys saw the live trade. You saw me calling out the trap, the idea of the market pulling back and giving us the entry we are looking for that reaction. You saw the market go from the 64s up there into the 70s, all the way to a high of 84, high of day, after getting that trap. So we got the trap right here. And then that was that big move up. We got more traps. Look, there's more traps happening. We got this right here. We pushed through that level there at the 76s, and guess what? You can see right here another trap afterwards, after we identified that one earlier. So we had that support right here. We had that resistance here at the 76s. The market pushes up here 83s, pulls back, bounces off that previous area of support, and then ding, ding, and then look what happens. We get the trap. Once again, they trap those stops there. Everybody puts their stops at the bottom of that 76 level. and then the market pulls back into the 74s and then rips right back up there. You can see that big green candle right there, that reaction from basically trapping shorts, getting those stops, getting liquidity, and then the market makes the move higher. And this happens over and over. You know, pretty much every big move that happens, you'll see these traps, right? You'll just constantly keep seeing these areas where the market's trapping both short and long, right? So here's a good example. This morning at open, we actually had like this area of resistance right here at the 72s. And guess what? We opened up. The market traps the buyers up here above 72, above that high. We push up to a high of 74. So a 3-handle move there. And then bam, look at that beautiful short from the 75s down here to the 54s. And again, you know, even at the bottom, we were trapping people. So look at that little trap right there. You had the low of day, and this little wick comes down, takes out the stops there at the low of day, and then rips it back up there for 10 handles. So these traps continuously happen over and over and over throughout the day. And the more and more that you realize that the market's going to just keep looking for liquidity. The market's looking for liquidity before moving. Like the market just can't magically just go up or down. It needs liquidity. It needs buyers and sellers. So these traps, when we get these areas where we have an obvious area where there's going to be support, right? There's a reason for the market to basically pull down through those areas, takes out those stops, and then moves higher. Right here, another perfect example. You would see like everybody would basically have their stop here at this level, that 56 right there, stops, right? Everyone's like, oh, 56, that's my stop. Let's say like got in here or whatever. Like they're basically just like looking for areas where people are going to have their stop losses at. And right here again, so we trap, we go below the 56s, we hold 54s there, and then we start to make that big move up. I mean, this is another perfect example of the trap again before making that move up. I mean, we just talked, well, this is actually the example we just talked about earlier, but you can see, you know, having that resistance, all you got to do is basically look at this area like, okay, there's support, we're bouncing. But like I said, it's just not that simple that we're not going to just get a bounce right off that support level and then ramp back up. What we're going to get is we're going to get some liquidity needing to basically move around, get some liquidity. The pullback through the 65s, pulls down here 62s, and then rips back up there higher. And constantly the market is just trapping over and over and over. Right here for the short, showing a beautiful trap as well, as the market has that resistance right here. So if you're short, you're thinking, okay, you know, I'm going to short like in this level, I'm going to short here, right? That's what people are thinking. And then guess what? Everyone's putting their stops right above the high of these candles. And look what happens. That candle right there pops above the high of that candle and then makes the move down. So the trap happens and then the move happens. So really, you got to be like looking for these traps. So you're like, I really want to get these traps to happen, because when these traps happen, a lot of times what will follow is a stronger continuation move to the downside. You know, getting stuck there. Basically, like I said, everybody that is basically here, they're shorting. Let's say you shorted here 68s. Well, guess what? Where's your stops at? People are putting their stops pretty much right there. And that was the trap. You see the trap, that candle right there spikes up there. And then there's that big move down. So the market moves from the 70s down there to the 56s. And then again, starts looking for traps down here at the bottoms. I mean, here, same kind of setup. Again, kind of trapping. I mean, it's, you just constantly will see these areas that end up turning into traps, where you're basically trapping the longs or trapping the shorts, creating liquidity, and then the market makes the big move. From there, I mean, here you got the breakout basically over that kind of bottom breakout up there to the 64s. It pulls back. You get the battle, the wicks on the bottom of those two candles, and then that big move up from the 58s up there to the 72s. And again, I mean, it's just constantly, the more you look at it, the more you see these traps. I mean, even here, same thing. It almost like trapped both ways. You get that push up through here. It's almost like you're looking for these areas of support that would be obvious areas of stop losses, right? Like if I'm long, let's say I get long here from 58 and we push up to the 68s, I'm up 10 handles. Well, guess what? I'm going to have my stop, if, you know, well, let's say just normally, I'm going to have my stop where? Right below these candles, right? Like if I bought here, got long, the market pushes up here to 68, I'm going to definitely make sure that I'm at least taking profit if we pull back below that 62. Remember, my stops here, Now that I've break even, okay, now I move my stop here. Again, we're entering basically, let's say we bought here, we break to the upside. Okay, perfect. I take some profit up here. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to move my stop to like right here. If we can't hold there, I'll get stopped out for profit. Now you can see what the market did. The market got below those stops there, takes out those stops in that area, hits the 61s, and then rips up there to the 74.